Hello and welcome back to the channel. Right now I'm going to be looking at Laura Fabian's I Will Love Again, live from Laura with Love. And let's get started.
Did I ever tell you how you live in me? Every waking moment, even in my dreams. And if all the stars sound crazy and the words don't come out right, does it really matter? If it gets me through this night, I will love again. Though my heart is breaking, I will love again, stronger than before. I will love again, even if it takes a lifetime to get over you. Heaven only knows.
I'm stopping it here because one of the things that, and this is again from Laura with Love, so this is the space where Broken Vow, You're Not From Here, and Adagio come from also, right? And those are all very internal songs in a lot of ways. They're more introspective, and the energy is more inward, and so you're drawn into a conversation. Whereas here, this is a much more extroverted song, and and you can see that in the change in energy that she provides here, is that she's going outward, she's moving around the stage, and I would love to talk about that later because her lung capacity obviously is amazing, but her stamina is also just amazing at this particular point in her career. I mean, just moving around the stage as she did, it's just awesome, and I'm assuming it only gets better. But as you can see, it's a much more extroverted song. I mean, everybody's up and they're dancing, and again, this is the song that I remember Laura Fabian for back in late '90s, early 2000s. This is the song that we remember of her before she went off to Europe to have the amazing career that she had there. So again, I'm always in awe of her because again, no matter what tempo the song is, she knows exactly how to bring things about through her body, through the tone and so forth. And so we'll just continue on and see what else she has in this dance tune.
I will love you. You can never tell you the way they truly feel. I would die for you gladly if I knew it was for real. So if all the stars sounds crazy and the words don't come out right, does it really matter? If it gets me through this night, I will love again. Though my heart is breaking, I will love again, stronger than before. I will love again, even if it takes a lifetime to get over you. Heaven only knows.
So as I was watching her do this, I was reminded of her "Love Is Like a Dream" performance. She does a version of that with Igor Krutoy, and I actually have it in the Laura Fabian playlist. And again, I mean, I'm gonna harp on this entire performance. I believe probably is that like it this is a very open performance for her. I mean, and again, she's going toward the audience. I mean, she's actually pretty much on top of them, and she's moving around the stage. I mean, again, lung capacity, just stamina, and her ability to just it's unbreakable. She's just an unbreakable performer when it comes to this. I mean, you throw anything at her, she will just take it and run. And I've learned that as I was going through Love of Tired Swans and some of the other songs that she's done. I thought, oh, Dimash, oh my gosh, it's going to be, oh my gosh, and then to learn that she did this a couple years earlier, and it's relatively the same, and and she's an immensely talented person in that regard. Her range and her tone and her pitch and all of that is just amazing. And here, this is an up tempo song, just like her version of Love Is Like a Dream, and she's able to just take it and bring all that emotion, that happiness and joy and hope into her face.
If I'm true to myself, nobody else can take the place of you. But I've got to move on. Tell me what else can I do? I will love again. Though my heart is breaking, I will love again. Stronger than before. Yes, I will. I will love, I will love, I will love again. Oh, even if it takes a lifetime to get over you, to get over you. Heaven only knows I will love again. Oh.
As again, I'm a child of the '80s, so one of the things I know about dance songs, at least from the '70s and '80s, is that they're very dominated by the background music in terms of like synthesizers and stuff like this. This is Laura Fabian. She doesn't necessarily need a ton of synthesizers, and Giorgio Moroder are sort of hyper layering going on behind her, and that's something that's interestingly missing, but not necessary in my mind. I can hear a little bit of synthy in the background, but it isn't as overt as, let's say, in some disco songs that I know of from the '70s and '80s, right? And I mean, again, she is the instrument. This is the thing that if ever anybody misses that cue, someone please let them in on it. She and the orchestra work together. She and her band work together. She and everybody works together, but she is the instrument through which the orchestra has like a place, and the orchestra is the thing that supports her, and so there's that symbiosis between them. And here in this particular song, nothing she doesn't need the synthesizer, she doesn't need all of that extra stuff, she just needs a beat.
I will love again. I will love again. One day I know I will love again. You can stop me from loving again, breathing again, feeling again. I know one day I'll love again. I will love again. Thank you.
So again, I this is always fun for me. I mean, and I sort of needed this. Today was sort of a difficult day in the filming world. Everything was not working the way I wanted it to. So I do have to say that this was a joy to actually come to this and have something upbeat and not have to really worry so much about how the crescendos work and all that other stuff, because again, this is an extroverted song. This is a song that she's shouting out to the world. She's making an announcement, a proclamation. She's she's all good. And that is what we want to see, right? I mean, and that's the message of this song is she will love again, and gosh darn it, it's going to happen. And so I this is just one of those songs that I really appreciate in that regard. And it's a totally beautiful departure from The ballads that she's known for too. I mean, and that shows her versatility and her love of all genres of music. That she isn't necessarily just a person who can do art songs from from the 20th century or 19th 20th and 21st century. She's versatile. She enjoys things. She's willing to take a risk and move into different areas because again she's vocally competent enough to be able to understand what's necessary for each type of musical genre that she goes for. And this was fun. I mean, I hope I was smiling throughout it, and if I wasn't, you can yell at me in the comments. But I was really sort of enjoying it, and I was also enjoying the idea that she didn't need all these heavy synthesizers that accompany a lot of songs, and the beats that she needed, she got, but it again, this a lot of it was just there to reinforce the genre of the music, not necessarily take it over. And there's a difference with that. And if you listen to some dance songs, it's basically the performer, the vocalist falls into the background and the drums and the synthesizers come forward. In this case, the synthesizers are there to reinforce a lot of what she's doing, but they're not the main attraction. And so you have the bass and you have the drums and background vocalists and just enough to keep her shining. And maybe I'm overreacting to that and maybe I'm just, I'm just in awe of this whole thing, but that was one of the things that I thought was just amazing from, my life in disco and techno and my short-lived stint in that direction listening to techno and stuff in the early and mid 90s, that I always found that the synthesizers always made the center stage, that they were the true stars of the show and they were the ones that carried the hook and they were the ones that carried everything. But I could be wrong. I don't listen to dance a lot, but again, I love the song because it highlights her versatility and it highlights her understanding of the different aspects of stuff. And this is why we remember her in America, is because she did leave an impact before she left. It wasn't her moment here because everybody else was here. And sadly, I believe she could have probably taken some of them out. But I I think I might have started a fight with that one, so I'm going to let it go at that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this reaction, and I want to hear what you have to say in the comments, and I hope you enjoy your day, and as always, be safe.